Okay, so I just got out of the shower. Looks lovely. I am going to do a video of how I style this thing. I sprayed some, whatever this is, I don't even know. It's a milk thing. It's just supposed to help with frizz, give it volume, make it sleek, not make it greasy. So here we go. Let me preface this with, I have never had my hair this short in my entire life. This is the first time that I've ever cut it into a, quote, pixie, and I've only had it for a couple weeks now, so here's just a couple of things that I've learned through the process. Basically, blow drying the sides towards the front of my face helps give it a straight effect and helps it lay more flat. My hair is naturally very curly, thick, coarse, so if I blow the hair the opposite way that I want it to lay, then it gives it just enough volume, but also kind of helps maintain a better shape than a triangle. So after we're finished with the sides, we start with the back. And one tip would be, don't be afraid of volume. I was always so scared that like you can put more volume in but not take it out, but it's actually vice versa. You can always tone down the volume, but it's really hard to add it back in there. So I start with, I guess, the crown of my head, and I go around blow drying and rolling it back. Rolling it back helps you not look like a let me speak to your manager starter pack. So make sure you roll it. Don't just leave it straight, because in my opinion, it looks like a let me speak to your manager starter pack. If you don't know what that is, please go Google it. So after we're finished with the sides and the back, we go to the top, but also starting from the back. And if you roll it, not into a specific curl, but I guess just kind of back and away from your face and giving it kind of a swoop method, I don't know. If you watch here, I'm not just like sitting on it and curling it into a curly Q. I'm blowing it out and over into a swoop. Nice. Basically, you just do this all the way towards the front of your head, rolling it, swooping it back, whatever mechanism you want to call this, but trying to get as close to the root of your head to actually have a dry head and make sure you're not flat on your roots and dry at the tips of your hair. All right, so here I have a mean cowlick. This was something that I was really afraid of when I got my hair cut short. I was just afraid that my cowlick was going to stick straight out. But again, if you listen to your hairdresser, if they're a good hairdresser, they're going to give you tips and tricks on ways to make sure that your hair doesn't look hideous. So now for the bangs. This part is a little bit different. My hairdresser taught me to blow dry them straight down in the opposite way that you want your bangs to lay. So here you see I'm blow drying them down. I'm just using the brush to brush through it. I'm not actually rolling it. Make sure they're nice and dry. Again, getting to the root to make sure that you don't have like wet roots and dry tips. And see how I'm blow drying it opposite. Obviously it looks really big, really crazy, but once you comb it or brush it back over, it should be big, but not that big. Now we add the same swoop mechanism, but it's still got that volume going the other way. All right, so it's pretty big right here. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I don't think I sprayed enough of that milk spray that I had, or maybe it was just really dry air. I don't really know, but the back portion of my hair like curled back up, crimped back up. So I'm just taking the blow dryer back over it to try and have that sit more flat. So for the most part, I'm just tweaking a few things that I personally don't like. I'm trying to get it to lay a little bit flatter. There are some cowlick crimped pieces that just inevitably today, they just want to hang out with me, and that's fine. So again, you can take volume out. It's hard to put it back in. So I'm just brushing everything out, trying to make it smooth and not look like it's just been blow dried. So as you can see at the top, I've got a mean crown, not bald spot, but I blew dry that a little bit too high. So I'm actually gonna go back through with some dry shampoo. And this was mainly just to give it texture because I have not been able to get to the store to buy some pomade, because I think some pomade at this point would have really helped my cowlicks and just made things look a little more defined instead of just crazy and all over the place. So now I'm going back in with some hairspray again for some definition, just to kind of, I guess, tie up the loose ends. And that cowlick on the back is just really not wanting to work with me today. So here is basically the finished product. Keep in mind, I felt like this video might have seemed like it took a long time, but it took me like freaking 10 minutes. 10 minutes, y'all. And once I just run my fingers through that back piece, it's totally fine.